figure with a crazy figure. Beat her at her own game.
Behind the radiant smile and the mesmerizing dance moves on screen, Ann-Margret concealed a pain no spotlight could heal. Why did a woman adored by millions always feel unrecognized? Why did fame, beauty, and success never give her the sense of belonging she desperately craved? Why did Hollywood crown her a queen, yet leave her emotionally invisible? There was one wound that shaped everything she became. A wound rarely spoken of, yet powerful enough to follow her through every relationship, every role, and every quiet breakdown. And alongside it, another sorrow just as devastating, one that haunted her long after the applause faded. What truly happened behind the glamorous image of the 1,962nd sex symbol who set Hollywood ablaze as Birdie? Why did her real life become a journey marked by deep wounds, silent losses, and an unending hunger for something more? Behind the radiant smile and the mesmerizing dance moves on screen, Ann-Margret concealed nameless sorrows, the pain of a queen never fully recognized. Once a sultry sex symbol who set the 1,960 seconds ablaze with her fiery role as Birdie, few know that Ann-Margret's real life was a journey marked by deep wounds, silent losses, and an unending hunger for something more. Under the dazzling stage lights of Hollywood, Ann-Margret, with her fiery red hair and deep blue eyes, burst onto the scene like an irresistible whirlwind of allure. But to earn that spotlight, the girl named Ann-Margret Olsen from Sweden had to endure a journey far from smooth, steeped in dreamlike wonder and the harsh trials of the American dream in the mid-20th century. Born in 1,941 inches, Valsjobin, a remote village near the Norwegian border, Ann-Margret immigrated to the United States with her family in 1946 when she was just 5 years old. They settled in the suburbs of Chicago. Though far from home, she always held on to her love for Swedish music and traditional dance. From a young age, she showed a talent for performance, frequently appearing in school plays and shows, though few would have guessed that this little girl would one day become the legendary Birdie. Her true journey began when Ann-Margret studied acting at Northwestern University, where teachers praised her for her unique stage energy. In 1960, she joined an all-female music group called the Subtle Tones and performed in nightclubs throughout Las Vegas. It was there, still not yet 20, that she caught the eye of comedy legend George Burns. He gave her her first television appearance on The George Burns Show, a milestone that opened the doors to Hollywood. Even so, her early years in the film capital were far from a fairy tale. With a slightly heavy Midwestern accent, Ann-Margret was turned down for many major roles for not having the right leading lady voice. Studios initially questioned whether a girl who straddled innocence and seduction could survive in such a fiercely competitive world. But she didn't give up. In 1961, Ann-Margret had a breakthrough with the supporting role in Pocketful of Miracles, directed by Frank Capra, who described her as a blazing heart behind an angel's face. But her true turning point came a year later in Bye Bye Birdie in 1963, when she played Kim McAfee, a role that took the entire nation by storm. Director George Sidney, so impressed by her screen presence, reshot the film's opening sequence just to feature Ann-Margret alone. Set to the movie's theme song, an unprecedented move for a supporting character. From that moment on, a new star was born. After her explosive breakout in Bye Bye Birdie, Ann-Margret quickly became Hollywood's new sex symbol, sweet like the girl next door yet laced with a wildness that made her impossible to look away from. When she starred alongside Elvis Presley in Viva Las Vegas in 1964, the screen practically ignited. The chemistry between these two magnetic stars set the press ablaze and sent audiences into a frenzy. Rumors swirled that they were in love, and they were. But that love was never meant to last. Ann-Margret later revealed in her memoir that Elvis was the most in-sync soul she had ever met. But he was bound by the strict rules of his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, and by the image the public demanded of him. Their relationship ended quietly, leaving a lasting scar on her heart for many years. Amid the fame, Ann-Margret never stopped proving that she was more than just a beautiful doll. In 1971, she took on a bold role in Carnal Knowledge, portraying a woman emotionally destroyed by a toxic relationship. The performance earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress and forced critics to reconsider her not just as a pretty face, but as a true actress, unafraid to touch the deepest pain. But fate didn't go easy on her. In 1972, during a performance in Nevada, she fell more than 20 feet from a stage and suffered severe facial fractures that required reconstructive surgery. It was a moment when she seemed on the verge of losing everything. Yet Ann-Margret did not retreat. She returned to the screen just months later with her face healed and her spirit unbroken. That accident didn't dim her light. It only made her shine brighter. The 1,970 seconds became a defining decade for her acting depth. Tommy in 1975, in which she played a tormented mother in a haunting rock musical, earned her a second Academy Award nomination, and a series of television films afterward proved she never shied away from difficult, complex roles. Off-screen, she quietly battled alcoholism, which had once brought her to her knees in loneliness and depression. But she emerged from that darkness without spectacle, without tabloid drama. As Hollywood turned its attention to younger faces, Ann-Margret didn't disappear. She chose to step back with quiet grace. Her personal life was just as courageous. She married actor Roger Smith in 1967, who later left acting to become her personal manager. When Roger was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, Ann-Margret cared for him devotedly for many years until his passing in 2017. One of the deepest wounds of Ann-Margret's life was her relationship with her father. As a child, she spent years separated from him when Olof Olsson remained in Sweden after his wife and daughter immigrated first. The longing left a lasting imprint, and even after reunification, emotional distance persisted. She later admitted that the silence and stiffness between them shaped her yearning for love from strong men like Elvis Presley and Roger Smith. Another rarely spoken pain was her struggle with alcoholism and her heartbreak over childlessness, as every pregnancy ended in loss. These quiet battles followed her for decades. Now, in her 80s, Ann-Margret lives quietly in Beverly Hills. Though no longer the center of grand premieres, she remains a living icon, proof that true brilliance is forged not only in glamour, but in endurance, compassion, and resilience. She once said, "I don't live in the past, but I'm grateful for it every day." That single line captures the woman she became, a flame that never truly faded.